Check, check, checkity check. Check, check, mic check. All right, all right, all right. Good evening, everyone. Glad to have everyone here. And want to thank everybody who has been subscribing. And Phoenix Kirk, appreciate you showing up and stream today. It's always good to see you. Shout out to those two gents. Super cool to have you here. So let's get started with the market today. Today was an interesting day. I was supposed to go to work in office, but meetings and go live calls just and availability of car made it impossible to. So I was able to record and kind of like pay attention to some of the price action during breaks. And what a day! Let's take a look at some of these things that occurred today. So one thing for tomorrow, we can see that tomorrow we've got 10 a.m. new home sales. We should see some volatility around that time. Crude oil doesn't really impact the American markets very much, but if you're like trying to trade Canadian dollar futures, then that could see quite a bit of a spike. 4:30 p.m. there's Powell speaking. I'm not going to be trading that. I hope you don't either, but just be aware that if you are trading past 4:30 p.m., there could be some volatility at that time because of JPowell speaking tomorrow. That's it for tomorrow, though. So 10 a.m. importance. Okay. What happened today? So let's take a look at the market review for today and talk through what happened during the day. So let's bring over a daily chart so we can see a little bit more. So remember, today's Tuesday, right? What happens during a week? We have either an open, maybe a high, low, close, perhaps, or we have an open, maybe like a high, low. I don't know. It just it'd be hard. I'd be hard pressed to see a open, low, and then a close and a high up here. I would be very hard pressed to. I mean, I guess it's possible, but I just don't think that's an option. So I don't think that that's going to be the most feasible thing to put in our line of sight. So today we ended up trading up into this fair value gap on the daily. Now, if you've been in any of the past couple streams, I've been mentioning that, hey, we're probably going to end up into this fair value gap. And I pointed out a mitigation block and an hourly fair value gap that it could be in as well. So we can see that price went up there and quickly retraced from there. So let's go down. From a daily perspective, this is doing exactly as I was mentioning during the weekly prep. Still very bearish, but on day one, definitely saw a peak into that down area, creating a short-term low. I fully anticipate we will take that out at some point, but there are some areas and premium we have to get to first. So with that, I think what I want to do is I want to bring this out a little bit further. Bring this out a little bit further as well, so I know what's combined with those. And yeah, on the daily, not much else there. This is really the only daily thing that I'm looking at right this moment. We see that we traded into that fair value gap and then we rejected there. So I would like to keep that kind of in that vein of not fully taken, but it certainly can. So let's take a look at the hourly and see what happened during today. So with the hourly, if you remember this morning, I don't know if I have this here or not. Let me see. Oh gosh. Let's see this. I think it's at Johnny Lee Lin, I think is this channel. So videos, I think it's a live, right? So let's see. Oh, that's weird. What the heck? All right, well, I don't know what the heck that is. Don't know why that's set to stream at a specific date and time. I'll have to take a look and see what the heck was going on with that. Must have missed something there. Okay, so anyways, we want to take a look at the live price action today. And if you recall, let me see if I can pull this up. Trying to find the right time. Ah, here it is. So right around here, if I could make this higher quality, so right around here, I start to point out before the market hits that these areas of liquidity will be taken, right? You saw me point them out in the morning. You see me point them out there. And you see me tag these two levels here, right? So what happens, we're going to keep those levels in mind because I deleted those levels after them being taken, but you can still see previous day's high, London's high, London's low, Asia's low, and those, and the opening real-time hour opening range settlement low. So you see all those were marked out, and that was already like 8:56 in the morning. So those key levels were true. I mean, let's go take a look back at the charts. So what happens to those levels? We end up taking buy side, trading down, hitting the sell side here, taking out the Asia low here, and heading all the way back to what level? The real-time hour opening range settlement gap low. So it's important to have those out. I mean, you'll see me put them out and you won't know how to use them immediately, but you'll over time learn to tackle really specific levels on different chart types. It just takes a lot of time and in practice. So what happened after we took that buy side, we took the sell side, and then we continued to the end of the day where we coincidentally see a spike into that daily BISI, which is what we were looking at, but not just a daily BISI, but also that mitigation block here. And within this hourly, so we traded right to the midpoint of it and then headed back down. Kind of crazy, right? So you can't get more precise than that. I mean, so on the hourly, we certainly see that we've come up since the new week open. We potentially have created a high right there for the week. That's what my thesis is going to be moving forward. I need to go to a 4-hour chart to take a closer look at this though, because we just recently took a really seriously big sell side area of liquidity. So what happens? What's left? Well, we certainly do still have the large portion of this low to tackle. We've not even hit the midpoint of that consequent encroachment of this whole weekly gap yet. So for that reason, I think that we'll head down that way. There's also a daily level further down as well, and a previously premium intermediate term high right here. So with those in mind, I'm going to keep this as an idea that, hey, price could come down here, it could repel. Price could come down here, it could go all the way through, then repel. And use that previous intermediate term high as a rejection point. There's a few scenarios that can happen where price is at right this moment, but we do see that it opened, we had a low, we hit a high, and we're now coming back down. So my thesis is that if we do trade up there again, I would be surprised, but possible. But maybe it goes up to fill in that hourly fair value gap. I don't know. But we can see the 4-hour gap. They took that imbalance out and then went short again. Now we've seen price continue upwards before, but because our higher time frame bias is still bearish, we haven't seen anything that like that leads me to believe that we're gonna completely do a market shift now. But it's possible, very still possible. We're seeing price supported is the weird thing, right? And that's what we want to be careful of, is we can't really pick. I mean, I don't want to pick a bottom because it can still keep on dropping too. So I think that we will continue dropping from here because we've taken a lot of liquidity that's already here. If we go back down to the hourly, we see that this liquidity halfway point was taken and it rejected from there. So, and that's a pretty big rejection. So we don't want to see it come above halfway point if we're bearish. We don't want to see it come halfway up that wick, that price action that was just a sell-off right there. So if we look at the 15-minute, it's even clearer to see that this buy side was taken, then this and this sell side and this were taken, and just barely 14,705, 14,705. So it did not create a lower low. So that did create relative equal lows though, which is leading me to believe that we might head down that way if we are fortunate and our bias is correct. If we end up going to that midpoint of the wick and we go past it and close, that's when I need to change my thesis a little bit and see what I missed, because I do see this fair value gap on the hourly being of interest. And yeah, I think it could certainly come back up there, but the candles are consolidating right at this moment. I think they're waiting for JPowell tomorrow, so I want to see what London does. If London takes out both the highs and lows of Asia, I'm going to be sitting pretty much the whole day. I'll just be like not taking a trade and like, being very careful, being very nimble, because oftentimes when there's something big like that, price and the algorithm knows that there's going to be liquidity. So it sometimes waits for that. So outside of that, that's what happened today. So let's go back to the daily. Okay. So keep in mind, we are still in quite a premium. We're still in this premium area. We've come down from there. We can see the daily a little bit better here. And we know that it has not closed within that hourly fair value gap that you see there, but it did reject. So will this order block turn into a sell-off and then turn into a reach up and then a further sell-off? That is what I am kind of painting out for this week. I would like that to happen. Doesn't mean that it has to, because it could certainly potentially trade up and fill in that gap still. We just need to see how the morning unfolds. I'm not going to be trading London. Asia already had like some pretty insane moves right at the bell. So scalped a little bit of that, but I would not recommend it. Asia's pretty slow otherwise. So yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's about it. My bias. We can certainly take out the midpoint of that wick, but no more. And that lines up with the new week opening gap low not the one that we blew through, but the one that I was looking for earlier. So, oh man, this is really tough doing these at night. But hopefully this has been helpful. Hopefully, if there's any questions or any needs that you need, or if there's, I don't know, if you're needing help with like models or something like that, I think the thing I have to work on this weekend still is getting the website up. I owe, oh gosh, I have to go look through, but I owe um, some people here who've been waiting for that risk lesson. I owe people a functioning website which can have an email, just a simple landing page and email capture. So I will try to work on that this weekend. No promises though, but just because I had an insane week and you can see how tired I am. So I'm hoping to catch up on some rest. But yeah, as for folks who are curious about today's trading, uh, today was good. I mean, I had tested the waters early on and got stopped out. I stopped myself out prematurely, and it was a good thing because price ended up running the opposite direction. Um, but yeah, it took just a couple of trades. Um, both ended up landing for 30 handles, so 30 points, and one contract. So that's about $60 for across what, 7 accounts, 6, 7 accounts. So yeah, just slowly building it up, not risking more than I need to, and doing it right so that when I do scale up over time, I'll be able to use the same type of structure. And this is all stuff that I'm gonna talk about in the risk lecture itself too, and you'll see it from the updates that I give you as well. So yeah, I think with that, there's nothing else today. We just try to remember and picture that every single week, month, even day, hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, whatever chart you're looking at the time, it has, yeah, I mean, you can kind of see that there's open, high, low, close. And I'm wondering if we will perpetually stay roughly in this middle ground for the time being. So we'll see. Let's see what Asia and London give us. Otherwise, get some good rest tonight. I will be doing the same, and we will hopefully I'll catch up with you a little bit more tomorrow. And let me know if there's any questions. Again, like, this channel is primarily meant to record price action because so I can review it after the fact. Like, I look at this, before coming on with you, so I can kind of collect my thoughts when I can. But if there's any questions that come up, just drop them in the chat. Just tag me, at me, or tweet me on Twitter. It doesn't matter. I don't really check Instagram that much, so I'm unfortunately not really doing much there. So I would say either tweet or just drop a comment on YouTube, one of my videos. I'll find it, and they'll let me know about it, and I'll try to answer it as best I can. So that's it on the charts today. I wanted to come back here and express my thanks to those of you who have been watching the stream, those of you who have been subscribing. I hope this is valuable for you, and I hope you would let me know what would be even more valuable. And because everyone knows I studied ICT, Inner Circle Trader. So you're going to see a wide variety of people who like talk smack about Inner Circle Trader, or like say he's a fraud, whatever. I mean, I've tested so many retail BS. I've learned everything there is about SMAs, EMAs, Elliott waves, Bollinger Bands crossed with just whatever, Ishimoku clouds. And yes, those work. If you understand what you're looking for and you have time on your side, then yeah, you can absolutely use those. Who's stopping you? If you're profitable with it, you're profitable with it. But ICT has really helped me understand how markets book, and you've seen evidence of that. You've seen me this morning, like just writing out the levels. What levels is it going to go to next? What's it going to do when it hits this? You saw me go play by play in that little text box that's down in the bottom left of my screen, right? During the day. You can rewatch the stream. Just fast forward, through it to look for key spots where I outline what's going to happen next. And then it happens, right? So eventually you will hone this as well as you see enough bars, as you rewatch enough of my content of live price action instead of just going back and charting and trading view. You can certainly start by charting and trading view. You should start by charting and trading view. If you don't understand what you're looking for, then you won't really understand how to do it when there's live price action, because that's a lot different. So make sure, if you're new, make sure you spend the time, do your studies, back test. There was somebody who asked me earlier, he was taking some course. I hope you didn't pay for that course, because you don't need to pay for anyone's course. You can just go to ICT. It's all free. As long as you're willing to put in the time, that is your cost. And yeah, that's it. So I can always help try to explain certain concepts if you come across things and they're a little bit more advanced. You oftentimes won't see me take the executions themselves, just because I want to keep the charts as clear as possible. But at some point I will do that. And I hope it'll be this November, December timeframe when I can start taking a few Wednesday, Thursdays off to trade with everyone. So that's what I'm looking forward to. With that, I think we're going to close here today, and it's already 10 o'clock. So get some rest, everybody. Hopefully you found this insightful, and we will see what Asia and London give us tonight. All right. Have a safe and sleepy sleep. Get some rest, and we will catch up in the morning. Have a great evening, everyone. See ya.